I said a prayer, and I looked at him and I was like, just promise me that if you can save it, save it. If you can't, okay. What a wonderful. Alright, y'all, the tripod was a no, and the lighting was also a no. It was way too bright. I was gonna go blind, more blind, and this was literally so flimsy. Like, it moves with nothing, so that's a no. But I'm gonna get straight to the point. You guys are here because I'm trying to tell you guys about the hospital part and to now. So basically, whatever happened after the last video I posted talking about the accident, it was about the actual accident, right? Like with me and my best friend, and with my cousin there as well. Now, when I got to the hospital, so I got to the hospital, right? All of that happened February 12th. By the time that I was in an OR room, it was about 1 in the morning on February 13th. So I had a surgery on February 13th, which was just a cleaning, basically. It was just a cleaning, because obviously this accident happened to the outside, so it was very dirty. So it was a cleaning, and you know, I was fine. Still had my hand. I still had movement in my hand. I have a video. I have a video of me moving my hand. I had hand function. February 14th, Valentine's Day. This is where it gets hard to talk about, y'all. If you know me, I don't like talking about the hospital part of everything. But February 14th, Valentine's Day, I was supposed to go in at 6 in the morning for a surgery. It was just supposed to be another cleaning and just like reconstructing what he was putting in. He was putting in a metal rod and an artery, and you know, just trying to get blood flow to my hand, because it was like there was no skin around it. It was completely destroyed. Like, I kid you guys not, like mentioned in the other video, my hand was holding onto my arm by a piece of skin, and the rest was just empty. No bone, no nothing there. It was just filled with dirt. And so he put like a metal rod to hold it together. Valentine's Day, it was just supposed to be one surgery. Went in for a cleaning, and I vividly remember getting out of that surgery and having to look down and see like my bed like full of blood. And obviously I'm like really confused as to what's going on, and it was that blood flow was not getting to my hand. It wasn't. So that was obviously very difficult, very traumatizing. If you know me, I don't like blood. I do not like blood. So waking up and thinking, okay, I'm going back to my hospital room or something. No, I woke up to the sound of nurses rushing, trying to get me back into the OR because I'm bleeding out again, and just seeing all that blood, very, very traumatizing. Went back into the OR, like obviously they had me under anesthesia, so I went back down, or fell back asleep, and then I woke up from that surgery, and I don't know if they weren't paying attention, like I was just waking up, but I was still intubated because throughout this whole time I had trouble breathing. Like, they even told me, they were like, do you know how to breathe? Like, just expand your lungs, and you know. And I was like, I promise you I know how to breathe. I don't know what's going on. Well, but I wasn't breathing right, so they had me intubated. And when I woke up from that, this is what, the third surgery, so 13th, 12th, 14th. This is my second surgery on the 14th, third surgery overall. That surgery, I woke up and I was still intubated, and like I can still feel them pulling out the tube from my throat, and it did not feel great at all, y'all. It, like, you know, whenever you're getting tested for strep and they like put the little thing on your tooth, or on your tongue. Well, this felt worse. This felt like somebody was trying to like yank something from my insides. So that was horrible, okay? I hated feeling like that, but the nurses were great. You know, they could tell that I was terrified. I was scared. I was like, what is going on? Like, why do I have a whole tube inside of me? You know, I was really like, bro, am I dead? Like, what's going on? But the nurses were really nice. The guy, I don't remember his name, but he was really nice. He was calling me baby girl too, and I was like, I need to stop. Like, yeah, y'all are making me blush. But everybody was really nice. They were really understanding. And then he took me up to my room, and he was really nice about it. And then came February 15th. I did not have a surgery that day, but it was my mom's birthday. And it was just very emotionally difficult because obviously who wants to be stuck in the hospital and not being able to see your mom on her birthday? This was during the winter storm, like I said, so no visitors were allowed, and even if we were able to have visitors, there was only one person a day because of COVID. So I was stuck in the hospital by myself, going through all this by myself. Still had my hand, but couldn't be with my mom. And at this point, I was already losing function in my hand, and so I was like, okay, this is crazy. So the 15th, I went to sleep. I already knew I was gonna have a surgery the 16th, but I went to sleep February 15th and had this dream, okay? And like, I've never had, like, I believe in God, y'all know this. I believe in God, you know, I worship and I praise him. I read the Bible, like, you know, that's where my faith stands in. But I had never had like a spiritual dream. But in this dream, there was a dark figure and a light figure. The light figure was just shaking its head and just like holding my shoulder and like telling me that it was gonna be okay, whereas the dark figure was like trying to fix up my hand, but it was like you could look into the future and like see that it was just a temporary fix. And I had no idea what this what this dream meant, okay? I was just like, what does this mean? Like, why am I dreaming this? But the 16th, I went into the fourth surgery, and they cleaned it out. It was a cleaning, and at this point they had already told my mom that I might have an amputation, but they hadn't told me anything. But the 16th had that surgery. I got out of it, and I could only move my thumb. I could only move my thumb. Sorry. I could only move my thumb, and that's kind of when I knew that was it. And sure enough, the nurse walks in, and amazing nurses, by the way. Most of my nurses were amazing. I will never forget them. I don't know if I'm allowed to say their names or not, but my nurse that was with me literally the day that I was admitted was the one that also told me, like, hey, I just want you to know that they did say that they may have to amputate. And I just looked away and I just started crying. Obviously, bro, like, nobody wants to be told, hey bro, they gonna chop off your hand. Nobody wants to be told that. So I started crying. I turned off my phone. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I really didn't know what to do. But I put on worship music and this one song by Gabby Barrett. I don't know if I haven't told you this story already, but I put on this one song from Gabby Barrett called Footprints on the Moon, and I was just trying to get through it, trying to process everything, right? But keep in mind, it still wasn't like 100% decision that I was gonna have an amputation. It was basically my choice. Like, it was up to me. They did tell me if I kept fighting, I literally possibly could lose my life because the infection just, you know, growing. So it was either my life or my hand. So anyways, they came in later, explained to me what happened, all the surgeries they've done, and I had to sign a paper that if they took me into surgery the next day and they couldn't save it, that they can amputate. So I signed the paper. I said, yeah, you know, do what you gotta do. So the 17th comes, February 17th comes, and they take me into the surgery room, and I meet the surgeon, which I vaguely remember meeting him. He says I was joking to him and calling my arm Eugene, because if you don't know, I call my arm Eugene. He said I was joking to him about that, but I really do not remember that either. probably because they were already putting me under anesthesia. But I met him and he told me, he was like, I want you to know, or I don't want you to be surprised if you come out and you don't have a hand. And then he told me about phantom pain, and I was like shocked, bro. Like, I was like, that's real? I was like, that's real? Because I mean, if y'all watch Grey's Anatomy, Arizona has phantom pain, and I was like, bro, that's real? Like, I genuinely thought like it was just in the show. And so he just starts laughing, and he's like, well, yes, it's real. And he starts explaining it to me and like what it is. I'm like getting scared. I'm like, oh. Okay, really quickly, for some reason I kind of overlapped the two doctors. The conversation that I had about my arm's name being Eugene, that was with my like head surgeon, like the one that did the chopping, Dr. Ashton Mansour. He's amazing, he's great, he genuinely tried everything. And the other one was just another surgeon in the room, and I can't really remember his name because, like I said, that conversation is like really like kind of because I was already going under anesthesia. But that was the conversation about the phantom pain. He was the person I had that conversation with, but two separate people. Dr. Ashton Mansour was the like my surgeon, like my orthopedic surgeon who amputated my hand, who tried everything to save my hand. Like, I generally mean, y'all, this man tried everything to save my hand. He kept in contact with my mom throughout the surgery. He would laugh at my jokes. He even brought in other people and like other opinions in trying to save my hand. Anyways, back to the video. I said a prayer, and I looked at him and I was like, just promise me that if you can save it, save it. If you can't, okay, you know, like, I know you've done everything you can to try and save my hand, but just one last try. If you can, okay, but if you can, save it, please. And so he looks at me and he's like, I don't think I can. And I was like, I know, but if you can, if there's any little bit there, do it. I have faith, I have hope, and I know that my God is a God of miracles. And he just looks at me and he's like, you're so strong. And I was just like, thanks. But, you know, I tell him that, and well, we know the outcome. I get out and I look down and I saw I didn't have a hand, but I didn't start crying. I was just glad to be alive, honestly, and glad that I didn't have to get a freaking tube taken out my throat because that hurt. But I was alive. I went to my room. I recorded a video like this. I recorded a video, but I didn't cry. I was just telling everybody like, hey, I'm out, I'm alive, I'm okay, this is Eugene. We're good. And I was really tired, so I sent it to my mom, my dad, and then like I told them to like send it out to other people. And so that's the actual amputation part of it. Okay, had to like recollect myself, wash my face, and get it together because your girl was crying too much. That's no. Anyways, not to the actual hospital today because yeah, I didn't get out of the hospital until about 3 weeks after. I was in a lot of pain. I definitely was in a lot of pain. I had to be given oxygen a few times because I wasn't breathing. Yeah, it was painful. I mean, hey, any surgery is painful. But I was also being stubborn. I didn't want to take pain meds because they had told me the faster I get off of pain meds, the faster I can go home. And so all I heard was go home. I wanted to go home. And yeah, because I hadn't seen anybody and I couldn't see anybody. Didn't know how long I was going to be stuck in there because of the winter storm. I couldn't shower, y'all. I couldn't brush my teeth. Like, I felt absolutely disgusting. Like, I couldn't use the restroom. Like, actually get up to use the restroom. Like, I felt horrible. Like, it was disgusting. And yeah, like, I just wanted to go home. But eventually it got really bad. I was feeling a lot of pain. I remember I had moved over to the chair. Yeah, I like moved over to the couch that was right there, and I sat there for a while, so it started hurting. Like, my arm started hurting, And then the nurse came in and she was like, you don't look good. And I was like, I'm not. And so, like, you know, like, I started telling her, like, I don't want to take pain meds. I don't want to take pain meds. I was like, I just want to go home. And she was like, girl, take the pain meds. And she was like, you just got out of surgery like a day ago. Like, you need the pain meds. And I was like, no, I don't want the pain meds. I don't need the pain meds. Not only because I wanted to go home, but also just like I was genuinely scared about it, because like okay, all jokes aside, Grey's Anatomy, and in real life, like, I've seen stories where like people get addicted to those things, and like I was just like, what if I get addicted to a drug? No. So I was, no, yeah, no. So I did not want to take any pain meds, especially because they wanted to give me I don't remember the name of it, but they wanted to give me a really strong drug, and like I told them, I was like, the only way I'll take it is if y'all give me like part of that. I don't want the whole thing. Anyways, I eventually took the pain meds. Obviously, I felt very disappointed in myself, but I had to do it. And then, by the way, y'all, if I'm looking down, it's because I wrote this down because I don't want to forget anything. But then, the dressing that they came in to do one day, I hadn't taken pain meds, and this was like 2 days after my surgery. I had not taken my pain meds. They did not warn me that I was gonna come get a change of dressing for my arm. And the doctor comes in, he starts changing my dressing, and it's like 4 or 5 in the morning, I think. And I'm feeling everything he's doing. Like, I'm feeling him unwrap the arm, and it's just, it hurts so badly. Like, I am crying. The nurse in there is just like trying to cradle me. The one that I mentioned earlier, she's great. The one that convinced me to take pain meds. She literally just cradled me, and she was just hugging me, and she was like, it's okay, like, it's gonna be okay. And keep in mind, girl, this girl just got off a 12-hour, oh, it was 7 in the morning, 6 or 7 in the morning, because I just remember this. She had just gotten off of a 12-hour shift, but she did not want to leave until she knew that I was okay. And so she just kept hugging me, and she was like cradling me, and she was just like, it's okay. And she just had her hand like right here and was like rubbing me. But I'm crying, and like I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, like, I can't do this, like, it hurts, I just can't do it. And she just like started telling me, like, imagine the mountains in El Salvador, like, because I had just gotten back from El Salvador. She was like, imagine the mountains in El Salvador, and just imagine all of that. And I was like, are we? And she was telling me, like, we're gonna go back. And I was like, we're gonna go back one day. She was like, yeah. And we didn't end up going back. But yeah, I called my mom. And also the guy was really sweet. He realized that like my mom was talking to me about El Salvador, so he started talking to me about El Salvador, and he told me that his girlfriend was from El Salvador, and he was like, what's the big deal about pupusas? What is like the big deal about pupusas? And I was like, well, they're good. What else do you need to know? But he was really sweet, and he was trying to distract me. And I remember he was like, I heard your mom talk about this guy from El Salvador, and I talked to him about that. I'm not gonna expose myself on here, but I started talking to him about that, and he was sweet and supportive throughout the whole thing. But regardless, I couldn't sleep because, yeah, like, he had came in to do the dressing. So many machines, constantly being plugged into a machine. They had like a lot of like CT scans. I don't know what they're called, EKGs and stuff like that. Basically, they were running a bunch of tests because my heart rate wouldn't go down, and so it was a bunch of blood being taken, like everything, and like every 2 hours, so they could like count my blood cell count, like my iron level or something like that. And it got to the point where like they literally like busted a vein. Like, they busted veins, like they had no veins to go through anymore. They started going out my feet, and I still have like a vein on my foot that if I touch it, it feels like it pulls, because they just run out of veins. And they really tried. Like, I have a bruise still kind of here. You can't see it because it's not bright enough in here, but I got a really bad bruise because they were like trying to get the blood out. No, they were trying to put the IV in, and the vein kind of like popped, and it was just like trying to force itself in there, and it was really painful, really bad. And I remember I had pushed the button for the nurse to come, And they finally came, and she's like, oh, you know, it's just gonna hurt for the first few minutes and you'll be fine. And I was like, okay. But then she left and it was still hurting, and I pushed the button and nobody came, and I was like, I started screaming, y'all. This was, I think, I don't know which one happened first, but this happened twice. When I pushed the button and I started screaming, I was like, nurse, 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 and I'm like bawling and I'm crying and I'm like, mom, mom, even though she's not there, which made me cry even more because I'm like, bro, my mom's not here. And nobody came, and when they finally came, I just had this huge bruise, and it hurt a lot. But eventually, you know, they allowed my mom to bring me a backpack, so my mom put like snacks and stuff in there. My sister's gender reveal came out, and that was very painful. Not because like I wasn't, well, yes, because I wasn't physically there, but just like a bunch of thoughts running through my head. I was like I'm not gonna be able to carry my niece and this and this and that, like a lot of emotional things. And it was, yeah, it was difficult. But I finally got to see my brother, which I was worried about the most, because if you don't know, my brother moved. He's not in Houston. I'm not going to expose him either, but he's not in Houston, so he left, and I didn't want him to leave without seeing me. So he was the first person to come visit me. He visited me for 2 days. I'm gonna put a video of him doing my hair.
But I don't know what you did to that part of your hair. It's just weird. Did you try to do layers, or like, what happened here?
That's what I asked for.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Otra vez.
Huh?
Me quieres quitar las orejas en
Well,
vez
it's
de.
because you got hair by your ear, and I want to comb it. And
then a few days later, I looked at myself in the mirror for the first time, and so there's a video of that as well, which I will post in a bit. But hey, I'm live. I'm not gonna post the full video because it's long, but in that video I looked at myself in the mirror and I just started crying because I felt weird. I looked weird. I mean, I didn't have a hand, you know. It was very traumatic. Yeah. And then finally I was able to go home 3 weeks later. I went home and I have a video of like how happy I was. I was just ready for them to bring those discharge papers, which they took forever for, but I was ready to go, y'all. I could not wait to get home. I had a lot of great support throughout the hospital. Like I said, some nurses were great, some nurses were not so great, but they were very supportive, most of them. Yeah, I had a lot of like support, fake support and good support from, you know, family, friends. Everybody was really supportive throughout everything. There was a point though, whenever, like, you know how guys, you know how I said that I was like, I would push the button and nobody would come to like help me like get unplugged and stuff. So I literally got to the point where I just got so tired of having to wait for the nurses for like an hour just to go pee that I just started unplugging myself. It probably wasn't the right thing to do, but y'all do not know the pain, okay, of like having to wait for a nurse to come in just to like unplug me. And like I could walk by myself, like I kid you guys not. I was perfectly fine at this point. It was just my heart rate that wouldn't go down. So if I needed to pee or I wanted to get up and walk around, I would just start unplugging myself, unplugging myself from the machine. Like if I had a little IV and I'd carry the thing with me, I was just walking around because I was not about to be in that bed 24/7 and then having to wait to come get unplugged. But I obviously did though spend most of my time in the bed, and then all of the IV fluids. I gained a lot of weight, a lot of weight. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was like, I think it was like 30 pounds. When they weighed me when I got out of the hospital, it was 30 pounds. I gained 30 pounds, and it has been the hardest 30 pounds to lose. Like if you look at a YouTube video that I posted first, you can like even tell from my face shape that like I've gained a lot of weight, and it's still really hard to lose, especially since I can't like lift weights now. It's really hard to lose weight. I did try looking for a trainer, and I'm still in the process of that. Sorry for another time, sorry for another video, But that was me staying in the hospital. Being in the hospital was the most traumatic part of everything. Whenever I talk about it, I cry usually, which is why like I had to take a moment to like just recollect myself. And it's also why I'm talking really fast now, because I'm trying not to like sit there and think about it and then cry. But it was difficult being in the hospital for multiple reasons, man. Like just being physically isolated from everybody, having to see everything going on in the outside world and me not being able to be there, just being stuck, not being able to sleep, getting poked at all the time, so many tests, not being able to sleep. I think I said that already, but it was horrible. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Like, I tell my mom to this day, I was like, do I even want to have kids? I do, but like the thought of just being stuck in the hospital just was really traumatizing. Like, I never want to go to a hospital again. Like, I genuinely do not. Like, the only way I would go to a hospital is probably if like I'm having a niece or nephew and they want me to be there, but I don't want to go to a hospital. Like, it was really traumatizing. Like, it was horrible. But yeah, I don't want to go into more depth about it just because I don't want to cry. But that was the hospital. That was from my amputation up until I left on, I think, like March 4th or so. No, it was after that. Whatever, it was in March. I left in March. I know that much. Beginning-ish of March. I left the hospital, and it was a roller coaster. You know, I had my good days and bad days, just like to this day I have my good days and bad days. I pushed through. It would have been nice to have somebody physically there, but at the end of the day, I'm still here, and I was very, very grateful to God for that. I actually did have a minister as well come in. Her name was Colette. I do remember asking her if I could say her name if I ever recorded my YouTube video. Colette was so sweet. She came in to pray with me. She loved hearing my story. Like, I was able to share my testimony with her. And she was great, I really did push through the hospital through music, worship, prayer, and a lot of support. There were days where all I could do was cry. There were days where all I could do was laugh. It was great. I don't remember the exact order of what it was when people came to visit me. My best friend did come visit me at some point, brought me Wendy's. But I think that was another worry I had being in the hospital. I was like, well, I almost killed my best friend. She's never going to talk to me again. And she did, obviously. Still friends. But, yeah. I think that was mostly it for the hospital part of it. I'm going to make another video based off of what my life was like once I got home. Or just basically like my day-to-day, like once I got home and to where I'm at now. But thank you guys for watching this video. Sorry for being an emotional wreck for the first part of it. I'm actually not gonna lie to y'all. I recorded the full video, but it ended up being like 30 minutes and I was crying through most of it. So I just cut it and recorded a second part with me not crying in like every second of it. But yeah, thanks again, and stay in tune for the next video. Bye.